Hello, my name is Ľubomira Hujsová. I'm NAEC Slovakia, and I'm also founder of initiative Tempus Universum and working also in the DSB Observatorium in Bratislava. The topic I will today talk about is implementing astronomy-related educational activities for primary level pupils in Bratislava region. First of all, I will talk about the education of astronomy at this primary level. Then I will present the Tempus Universum and the DSB Observatorium. And most of the presentation I will talk about and show you what kind of hands-on activities we do with children during the astronomy trips into universe. So teaching astronomy, what I find, as I have 3 children and I have teach astronomy for 3 years now, is to start with this education in early childhood. Already at the age of 4, children start to talk about the universe and to ask questions. So this is important. This education is also to be developed in the primary school, and we can say that in the secondary level it contributes to a very good and solid foundation for further STEM learning. So teaching astronomy is not only about teaching facts, but also it develops curiosity and creativity and so important critical thinking nowadays. So what about the approach towards children? They usually already know what they want to ask, even before we start to talk about the universe. So we need to listen to them and to give them answers. And if we do not know the answer, it's okay. We can say, I don't know. I can find out. I can talk to my colleagues or just to find out. But I don't know is also an answer. If we want to get them really get interested into the story, we all need to be and get the part of the story. Yes, we teachers, we can have a plan what we would like to teach, but if there is a possibility, we should adapt the topic to the interest of the children. Yes, and what I find the most important, to connect the taught informations with the everyday examples they personally know, the kids. Yes, and they just love hands-on activities. They love to do something. Yes, so the initiative Tempus Universum started around 3 years ago. There was a special program named Hello Universe that was created. That was nowadays with the program we are visiting primary schools and teaching kids from 6 to 10 years. But also it is available for kindergartners, for kindergarten groups. The program lasts only 40 to 60 minutes. The Tempus Universum is based in Bratislava, Slovakia, but there are also Austria and Spain and even Senegal where the Tempus Universum activities were held. So it has an international reach. Yes, so within 3 years, children in over 100 schools and more than 5,000 Astro kids were able somehow to touch the universe through this program. DSB Observatorium is pretty new observatorium in Bratislava. It is a school observatory that was opened 1.5 years ago. We have a Skywatcher mount, EQ8A Omegon RC telescope and a solar telescope Coronado. Observatorium serves for internal purposes for the pupils and students of the school. 30 Astro kids from the kindergarten and 30 kids from school that are attending on a weekly basis Astronomy clubs also regularly use the observatorium, and also the external schools visit observatorium twice a week. During 1 hour, they are getting a Hello Universe program, a theoretical program, and at the second hour, they observe the sun or a one or two terrestrial objects in Bratislava. And of course, the observatorium is providing public observations in the evening. Yes, so teaching astronomy to children on a primary level from the age from 6 to 10. So when a group of 20 children come to the observatorium, for example, most of them, so it means more than 15 children, like the topic of universe. So how to teach it? We need to get a part of the group of the children. We need to become a child for a while. We need to think like, how would I like to, when I was 7 years, how I wanted to my teacher to teach me things. It needs to be somehow fun, because the kids, they like to touch things, to play, to dance, to move themselves. And this is actually very important. They cannot just sit like 60 minutes long and listen. They need to live it somehow, to experience it. So we try to create all the activities full of movement. And sometimes I ask myself, do kids have more fun by these astronomy activities and education, or do I? Because it's such fun. We love it. So we start with the children, with the movement and the gravity. We learn that everything is in motion, even when we sleep. Imagine that. They just don't get that at the beginning. It was like, yes, but our heart is beating. And when they know that Earth is spinning around, so we are just non-stop in the movement. And we talk about this invisible force, gravity, like how can that be invisible? How can that work? Yeah. But when we jump high and we do not stay up there, and we cannot fly, what is a pity, the gravity attracts us down. So they realize, yes, it works actually. So, and we then play that each of us is either an atom or a piece of dust, and we turn around slowly, and this gravity attracts us together. So we just make a big sphere at the end. Actually, that's why our planets and stars, they have a form of a sphere. So finally we get to a sphere together. So, and we can decide if we want to be a star or a planet. Yes. Oh, Big Bang. That is the most loved activity. There are 3 steps we do. The best thing is if it is all dark. So first of all, we get under the black cloth in the dark room, if possible. Everything is dark because there was no light. Each child gets a small lamp, but during the first step, they stay all in dark and quiet. They love then to explode during like the Big Bang. The second step is the dance of particles. It is very funny because boys, they were like, do you want me to dance? Okay, so if it's a must, and the girls, they love to dance. So the second step is dance, but it's all in dark still. And just the third step is the fusion of particles. When they go together, they come together and they start to shine. So each child turns on the lamp and they just become a star. Yes, and they love this. So we continue with the solar system. They all kind of know how it should exist. They know there are planets that are turning and orbiting around the sun. So they just love to get dizzy. They all like to rotate around their own axis and they love to be dizzy. Then they're trying to orbit around the sun. When I'm the sun, for example, in the middle, they just run around. The best thing is if they hold something, if they hold an object that is representing the planet or an image of the planet, yes. So we talk 1 or 2 facts about the planets. One of the most beloved one is the stinky Venus. Then what we do, for example, by the Earth, I ask them to close their eyes and to open their ears. Listen, what can you listen? Oh, they know. Wow, that's water. So that's very special because the water we can drink, and it is such a good water. Uh, this is very special for our Earth. Yes. So then we talk about like, could we walk on the ring of Saturn? So they're kind of disappointed that we couldn't, and they love to roll around the sun like the rolling Uranus. So we also talk about the day and night phenomenon and eclipses. During the astronomy clubs in the DSB observatorium as well. It's cool. They love children to do the constellation. They like the stories. They like pin pricking. Look. So with a needle. And then it's not about drawing, they just sew it. Yeah, sewing, about sewing. They want to sew their own constellations, yes. And then they play, they act like the Perseus and Andromeda. Yeah, but the most beloved activity with constellations is the gastronomy. It's not about astronomy, that's a gastronomy session. Yes, so they eat their own constellation, a biscuit with Nutella or a homemade marmalade. They also love to eat the 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 moon or Mercury surface bombarded with the stones and with many craters. This is a very cool activity. You need just a box, a tray, some flour, cocoa powder, and small stones, and when they are, and if I ask if there are any volunteers, there are like 20 of them immediately. And what do they want to do after? They want to eat the rest of this special cocoa flour surface. Yes, and playing with magnets is light and light. This is also a very loved activity. When we play with magnets, when they play with magnets, we can learn about the cardinal directions and about the orienteering on the thanks to the sun or thanks to the stars in the night. Okay, when we do the optics exploring, it's a big fun. They just like binoculars, monoculars, pirate monoculars, and they love the spectrum and the rainbow colors in spectroscope. So during these magnets and light topics, we can also learn about auroras, what is a very beloved topic of astronomy. Oh, and the last loved activity is archaeoastronomy. Kids are learning that we can somehow measure the time with the water clock or sun clocks. They make their own sundials, what they have to, of course, use immediately outside. And this is the fun. Okay, I can use my own sundials. And we also use the Stellarium program to get to know the ancient constellation. And the modeling clay is a part of archaeoastronomy. We can represent the moon phases, as you can see in the image. But the most beloved is to write with the cuneiform, script into the modeling clay. And for that is the best constellation, of course, the Moon Apin constellation. So thank you very much. Thank you for your attention. I hope that my presentation is kind of motivation for you to open your own astronomy clubs and to teach children about the beauty of the universe. Thank you very much.